Hi, I'm Adam. This is Bonbibi, a flood guidance station that runs entirely offline on a Raspberry Pi 5, built for the ARM Create AI Optimization Challenge Physical AI track. Here's the problem. When the network goes down in a flood, that's exactly when people need routing the most. The UNDRR surveyed over 6,000 people with disabilities across 132 countries. Only 26% could evacuate immediately without difficulty, but give them warning, and that jumps to 39%. So warning works. The missing half is routing, and the places that flood worst are exactly the places where connectivity fails first. This is not a hypothetical. This is a real Human Rights Watch report from June 2023. 141 people were killed in the June 2022 floods in northeastern Bangladesh. People with disabilities and older people died disproportionately, not because the water found them first, but because the shelters weren't accessible and the warnings never reached them. So let's see what we built to address this issue. This is live, running on a Raspberry Pi 5 with no internet connection. This is the panel itself, a physical kiosk against the Raspberry Pi 5 touchscreen. It runs a real self-test, then you can tap Run Flood Check and it kicks off the actual GPU simulation. We'll see the GPU simulation run and generate a visualization, that same engine on the desktop console, running a storm over Red Hook, Brooklyn. Those hazard bands are draped over a real offline base map, and the water depth breakdown updates live as the simulation runs. Now tap a location and the system routes a person to the nearest shelter, separately for each mobility profile. Watch what happens. The wheelchair route comes back stranded, where the vehicle and foot routes don't, because the flood depth carries a different safety threshold for each one. So how does this actually work? One board, two engines running at the same time. The GPU simulates the flood. 4 ARM cores route people and narrate the result at the same time. The flood kernel itself is optimized by an LNM within a state machine, which owns a correctness gate. That gate verify process got us a 1.59x speedup. Here's the proof that split is worth it. The GPU plus CPU deployment beats the best CPU-only alternative on both axes at once. Now for the ARM-specific part. First, ARM's own CleanAI library loses the native runtime repack path on this chip. The Cortex-A76 doesn't have i8mm or SVE, so CleanAI never reaches embed kernels. Second, a real bug. If a Vulkan device is visible at all, Llama CPU pins and CPU weights and GPU write contain memory, even when you tell it to use GPU layers. And third, quantize 4_O beats every K-quant we try, and it beats speculative decoding too. Thank you for watching.